And I have a confession. I already recorded part of this, but I went through my phone and looked at videos for like 10 minutes, and I was like, that's not good content. So I'm starting in, this is not the middle of it. This is still the beginning of my routine, but I just want to talk to myself and talk to you guys, I guess. But I'll tell the stories I've previously told before. And it starts back to a childhood where I just had a difficulty masking my true feelings towards people. So if I didn't like somebody when I was younger, I had a hard time being pretending to like them. I just couldn't do that. I couldn't be fake nice people. I still can't do that. If I don't like somebody, I just don't like them, and it's really hard for me to pretend to like them. And I usually don't. So this first story starts off with, this is minor. This was just it wasn't that I didn't like this girl, but this day she annoyed me so bad. I was at her house, and for it was like a week long, I just had to go to her house after school for some reason. I don't even know what was going on, but I had to go to her house every day for some reason, and I was getting tired of it. This was like the last few days, and I was like, I've never hung out with her this much in my life. I'm tired of this. I was like 7. I was like, I'm done. And there's just one day she just kept talking. She wouldn't shut up. And I was like, okay, so you've been talking all day. I'm getting kind of tired of it. And the only way I could think of to solve it was violence. So I slapped her in the face. Oh. Oh, her tooth came out. Oops. And, we're 7, so her tooth was already loose, okay? And she actually thanked me for making her tooth come out, because I guess she's been trying to get it out. But I was just so angered. And her mom got me in trouble, and she was yelling at me. And I was like, the rest of the time at her house, I went up to her freaking tree house. I found a dead lizard, and I just cut it open with a stick, and I just dissected it. And that was just a defining moment in my life. I was like, so violence just doesn't get me anything. I get yelled at, and she still doesn't shut up and thanks me. She thanks me. So ever since then, I have not laid my hands on anybody. My hands. Because this leads us to a next story. A few years later, I'm like 10, 11, and I had to go to this one girl's house I had to be with this girl after school every single day. Like, genuinely every single day. And I was tired of it. I was tired of her. I didn't like her. I never liked her. And I hated going to her house, but our parents were friends, and whatever. We had to go to each other's houses. Well, let me do my eyeliner real quick. Hold on. Let me move y'all so you can see me doing it. Okay. Or I'll just cut this. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, I'm back. The story I was going to say. So I had to go to this girl's house every single day. I didn't like her. I really did not like her. And I would remind her of this. And I kind of still had to be friendly with her because I think I just got in trouble with my mom for not, I guess. Like, I would complain about her to my mom, and my mom was just like, you have to be nicer because you have to be around her so much. But I remember I would tell her, like, okay, so if I were to, like, describe us, I'd say that I'm Greg and you're Rally. Or how about I'm SpongeBob and you're Patrick, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. It was just really mean. It was really mean. And I drew a picture of her, and I was just, it was mean. It was mean. It was mean. Okay, it was mean. I was mean. But with very good reason. Because, first of all, every time we would go to her house, and our brother would be there, my brother, would be there with us too, and he was just like a little kid. And we'd get a snack, and she'd, of course, be the one that had to pour us the food. Tell me why she would pour herself a full bowl of snacks and me and my brother would get half. Sometimes we had to share. Like, so, what? That, just little things like that built up my resentment for her. Then one day, she got a freaking hamster, guinea pig, or whatever the frick. And I was just holding a ball and looking at it in its cage. And she was like, Gracie, don't throw that ball at it. And I was like, I was so offended. I never hurt an animal in my freaking life. I never hurt a single freaking animal. And now here she is, accusing me of being an animal abuser. Well, I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to throw this ball at the freaking whatever that rodent is. I turned around. She was turning around, walking away from telling me that. Threw the ball as hard as I could at her freaking back. She starts crying. Runs up to her dad, tells on me. And, oh, I did not like her dad either. I did not like her dad. And he also knew that I didn't like him. Because he was just mean to me. So he's yelling at me, and I'm just laughing because I couldn't take any of it seriously because I was like, I don't regret a single thing I just did. I don't regret it at all, actually. And so I'm laughing. I'm sitting there. I'm laughing like as he's getting me in trouble. Like I couldn't take it seriously. Then he's telling my brother, "You do not want to end up like her." I'm like, 11? What do you mean? And oh, but yeah, that was really funny actually. I still don't regret doing that. Cause I could really get away with it then. The age I am now, I can't really get away with that. But there's plenty of people that I would like throw a wall at as hard as I could and watch them cry and be really happy about it. But unfortunately, actually, there are not plenty of people. There's not that many people I dislike. But it would still be fun. For the ones I do, throw a ball at them as hard as I could and watch them get hurt and cry. And I eventually, did I really grow out of that habit of just not being able to really control when I don't like people and like being honest about it? No, I never grew out of it. I just don't fake giving people the time of the day when I don't like them. Because why would I pretend? No point. I can't really think of any recent stories though, because there's nobody recently. Oh my gosh, there's a freaking dog hair on my nose. There's nobody recently, anybody that I can think of that I like hate or just despise. There's people that I'm like, that's just somebody I don't like. But nobody I'm like have a raging hatred for. But whatever. Oh wait. No. Still I don't have anybody I have a raging hatred for. There's people that I don't like. And that have been rude to me. But it was just like, they're just being rude because they don't like women. And I don't really care when a man doesn't like me. So, it just never really hurt my feelings. And I'm a recovering misandrist, I will say. I really am. I used to despise men. I just didn't like them, and I know that wasn't something to be proud of. Like, I hated them, and I knew it wasn't something to be proud of at the time, but I just couldn't let go of this resentment. I don't know what it came from either. Like, I genuinely don't know where this hatred for men came from, because it wasn't like, at the time, I had been treated bad by men in my life. Well, yes, well, kind of, but I don't know. Well, no. Actually, no. I just despise men. I had been treated bad by men before, but it was before that even. It was before that even. I think those times just hit the nail on the head. I was like, oh, I really don't like y'all. I really don't like y'all. But, of course, I have grown out of that, okay? I still, like, don't... I don't know how to describe it. I still don't get along with men. For some reason, I just don't really get along with them. Just, a lot will just not like me. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's the energy I give off. And I'll just be like, you know what? Okay. I don't really care if you don't like me or not. Because I don't want you to. But, I guess I just give off this vibe that they don't like, and maybe it scares them. Maybe I scare them because my masculinity might be a little bit stronger than theirs. Who knows? But yeah, I've grown out of this resentment for men for multiple reasons. Doesn't mean I'm like a man, like, for the boys. No, but I think number one, I realized not every single man is like that, and I didn't realize that in a romantic sense. Okay, before I started dating my boyfriend Matthew, I was over it. I was already over this misandrous moment. Okay, so he wasn't the one that radicalized me, not radicalized, but changed me. So, but he also made me be like, okay, so they can actually be really nice and funny. But before I was just like, they can't be funny. They're not funny. It was just like opposite misogyny. I was like, they're not funny. They're not really smart. They can't really do anything by themselves, and they're kind of useless. And I just couldn't help it. And I would just be mean. I would be just openly mean to men too in real life. I think actually, I know where it stemmed from actually. It stemmed from me being just bullied and freaking, I don't know if I could consider it bullying, but made fun of in middle school. And if you know the voice, you know it. It's just this condescending voice. Never in my life in middle school was a woman mean to me. Maybe I just didn't pick up on it. Maybe they said things behind my back. But there was never any of them that were mean to me. But it was just these popular boys that would speak to me in the most condescending, like, voice. And I was like, I know what you're doing, but I'm not going to feed into it. So I would just ignore them or just be like, okay. Like, I don't like you. I don't like you. but then at the same time, you kind of wanted validation from, like, the popular people, so you were kind of like, maybe I should try to act like I'm chill. It was a whole thing. And I remember, actually, more recently, I got a flashback of this in high school. It was senior year. We're about to graduate. Why are we acting like this? I'm in this, like, flex time. I've told the story so many times to my boyfriend, but anyway, it was senior year, okay? I think it was last semester, senior year too. Like, you do not need to be acting like this. This dude is, like, at the table next to me, and his friend's right there. And I have my MacBook out. And yes, I have My Little Pony and anime freaking stickers on my MacBook. And I know that's why he pointed me out to make fun of. Okay. I'm playing, like, Papa's, like, Freezeria or something. So I'm super bored. And here he comes with the most condescending voice. And it sounds, when I say it, you might be like, well, maybe he was just, like, curious to talk to you. Like, maybe just curious what's happening. Maybe he's just, like, a nice person. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I was picking up the wrong vibes. But he was like, is that a boba game? And I just said, no. And then he kept, or no. Actually, I didn't reply. I just ignored him. And he kept asking me these random questions that were just, if you have experienced the condescending voice that teenage boys will give to the person they're making fun of, you just know. You know it. And it was just that voice, and I was like, I'm not going to feed into this. And then he kept annoying me. Then he brought up his phone, and he was like, would you adopt this cat? And it was like some, like, weird looking cat, and I was just like, no. And kept talking to me, and it's like, so, it's honestly humiliating. Because here I am, just trying to play freaking Papa's freaking Freezeria, and I'm being made fun of, and his little friend over there was giggling like it was the funniest thing ever. Yes, it's so funny to ask me what game I'm playing or what my freaking what all this is. That's how I kind of knew it was being made fun of. If he was just being curious about it, I would have been like, okay. But it doesn't help that your friend's over there giggling at you like this is the funniest thing he's ever seen. Oh my gosh, a girl likes anime. But hey, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was just being nice and his friend was just a jerk. And you know what? I never liked his friend. His friend can die. But, actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that on the internet. But I didn't like his friend since middle school. And there's a lot of people I didn't like since middle school. Because people were mean to me in middle school. And rude to me. And yeah, that is why I didn't like men for a long time. And that's, like, I'm just realizing that now. That's why I just wasn't nice to them at all. For a while. But I've grown. And everything's okay now. But I did come from hatred. Maybe I lost my wings when I started being a little bit more empathetic. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But don't get me wrong though. I wasn't like a woman can do no wrong. Like there's just people that are like a woman can cheat in a relationship and it's okay, but if a man does it, oh, I think it's wrong either way. And I think that's common sense actually. I think people that say that are joking, but that was a time of my life. And it also didn't help that I never really had a male friend. Like, out of my whole entire life, like a male, like, close friend, I've only had one. And that's it. But then when I had a male close friend, I didn't really see him as a man, though. Like a dude. I didn't really see him as a dude. It was just like, that's just a friend. That's not really a boy. It's just a friend. You know? I don't know how to describe it. But that's how I viewed it. I would just be like, I forgot that you are a man. I forgot that a little bit. But yeah. Does anybody else relate to that? Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. Oh. And this. People. Ah! People. Oh my god. People talking about Ariana switching her voice, and look, I'm not going to defend her for the black accent, okay? But one thing I can defend her with is her voice going deeper, or her randomly talking, and like, there was an interview where she just randomly started talking just like Cynthia Erivo. And I was like, Ariana. But I kind of get it. Because I do the exact same thing. Is if I'm talking to somebody with an accent a lot, or around a lot of people with a certain accent, I will start to just mimic it, and I don't know why I do this. I remember I was in Iceland. I probably looked so stupid, and I hope nobody like noticed this. But when I was in Iceland, I started picking up the accent a little bit, and I'd be like, hamburger, like, you know, go get, like, I don't even know how they talk. I was like, the ocean, how do they talk? I might be being really offensive right now, but how do Icelandic people, what's a sentence they would say? I forgot how they sounded, but I was like, okay, I don't talk like this, what am I doing? And I do the same thing with social media. I remember somebody commented on a video of mine, they're like, I hate her voice, it's so obvious she's faking it. Actually, that voice I wasn't even faking, but when I do cameos, I don't know why, but it's only when I do freaking cameos, I put on this voice, and I can't control it. It's like the scariest thing, because I'll be talking to like my boyfriend or something, like that. Okay, wait, I gotta do a cameo. Then I go, hi! And it's like, who am I? Why am I talking like that? It's really mostly me just enunciating my words a little bit more so I can be understood, and making it a little bit like enthusiastic. But even then, I talk then at different octaves very much. When I played softball in the dugout, like when we had practice and stuff, my voice was like so much deeper, and I don't know why. And also, I had like a southern accent going on then, and I was like, because everybody around me had a southern accent, and I was like, okay, I'm just like mimicking everybody. I was like, oh, but girl, that's not how you talk. But yeah, I don't know what my real voice is. We're waiting for this. We're waiting for this to finish. I'm almost done. Bam, done. Thank you for listening to me talk for 25 minutes and 40 seconds, 41, 43. Bye!